How are you guys doing? Talk to me, talk to me. Ngwana teke, shafiri. As if wena umontle, as if wena umontle. Dumela rra, dumela. Tycho, when last did I see you, Tycho? Been a while. How you doing, bruv? Hey, Vibe Stealer. Wonderful. Good morning, Kule. Angeri ngwana teke Leroy kena re maswe. So that's why I'm like, how njani. Good morning, Senza. Good morning, Shabby, Bobby. How you doing? Yeah, you might be here every day, Tycho, but me, I need to see you. I need to see your handle. I need to see you there by the comments. I need to see you there by the panel. That's me seeing you. Please package that cold weather and send it over because I could shushu the site. Which site is shushuing? I need to now I'm the one who did not take my advice. I did not put my phone on do not disturb, mute notifications, and we are in business. Good morning, Mbalo Muhle. How are you doing? How you guys doing? Remember to tap the screen. Let's not forget that. Share the live right about here. Tap the screen there. Let's do this. How you guys doing this morning? Talk to me, man. How are you guys doing this morning? Let's see. Thank you, Wanateke, for sharing. Senzo share. Taiko share. Tabile share. Balomuhle share. Asante share the live. Chabi Baby share the live. Guli share the live. Let's go. Let's share. Let's share. All of you who hear my voice, please let's share. What's happening there, Mrs. Rings? Abutuli, I can't hear you talk.
Wait. No. Sorry, man. As like multitasking. Penchak, Marfir, how are you?
Kishapo Abutu, wena?
I'm alright, man. It's again. Like, I'm doing those mock-ups actually because I wanna I like really want to surprise you guys, but then I'm a bit delayed here by this technology. Boss,
So you are the one who's surprised. Surprise!
imagine now. Huh? No,
We can't be. Thank you so much for sharing. Hello, Mponyana. Please share the live. Pumpkin, please share the live.
I just got a message from HQ Penchaka like Khatonales guy like it's so Ranud Bara.
Okay, let me check it out. Must it be second segment or first segment? Ellie? Thank you, Tandy, for sharing the link. Share the live, wonderful people. Keep tapping the screen. Welcome to the new listeners. Where are you joining us from today? No, Miss Filwe. We no longer do that. We no longer do that. We are running our segments now. So you can come be Ntwana if you want.
Oh, and by the way, guys, let's remember how to follow village in there. Okay, so for those who are new here, we have a new sponsor called Velagin, as in like ZA, Velagin ZA. You see, yeah, sure. Nah, like, just go follow them there. You can hit them up there for a bottle of gin for 150. Just hit them up there, and then I will just make sure that you get like what's yours. Delivery is not included, so that's gonna be like 150 extra nyana gore go fitlhela, or maybe you can pick it up, it's fine. But then hey, wanna remember to actually do the right thing. And what else gonna?
YouTube.
Oh yeah. Oh guys, flip. Hey, yo guys, born and but again, can wait again now. Thursday to Fridays. Okay. Okay. That text really just disturbed me. But okay. Thursday to Fridays live, guys.
Continue.
You won't be able to see them because there was a technical flop nyana there. So we apologize for you missed out. But hey, we'll do better. And yeah, man. Oh, and remember at 12 o'clock we have what's that? We have a quiz actually. So you could win some great stuff actually. But guys, we are not allowed to listen to that show now because of like certain commitments, guys. So rather lona le tleng ka like ka that story, ne? Hey KG.
Yes, sir. You were saying? Hello, Dino. Who must come with what story?
No, no, but again, can I get a good sense where like that person sounds like Mimi? So I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
yeah. So now you know I like shape like 4 more, but it's fine.
yeah. Okay. Um, let me just deal with that comment quickly.
Right. That's what I'm doing.
Dealt with. Um, what the wahafa?
I mean, what do I have, Joe? The hell was that?
Yeah, it is what it is. Okay. Um, please continue speaking there, Leroy, while I'm dealing with that person.
Oh, so yeah, but again, so can I get a man before Mutakwa? Oh yeah, so but again, like Mrs. Linky, she asked, do we have flavors actually? Well, uh, okay, the main one is in like the gin, honey flavor, ne? But there are spirit coolers actually. So they basically get a premix actually. So now they have flavors actually because like there's a gin and tonic, there's a what's that? There's a lemon one, and then there's a marula one. Yeah. So those ones we might have them by month end, like as like not now yet, but then right now it's for lady bottle of it. You know, as in fella gore fela o tshitse o le one o ka go itse ke nna like o ne ntse ita mothamo fela. Tora ta. Atlhabai. Why are you telling us now about the coolers? Because we don't have stock for them now. So riskarable. Askies. But then probably next month, yeah, like we'll get them. Anyway, dog,
Alrighty.
should we run that?
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you kindly. Yes, Leroy?
No, Gary, like, should we run that story or maybe you want to do something else?
No, 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 no. I will run the show. Don't worry, sir. Don't you worry, sir. Got you. Right, everyone. Hello. Fortunately, you are not that late to miss anything. I was just greeting everyone. Those who are hearing my voice for the first time, joining us for the first time, do let us know where you are joining us from so that we can say hello properly. And we appreciate all 60 something of you guys. Can you please also tap? Let's get over 50K. You know, there's always the target. Go over 50K, just spend a few, the next 5 minutes, tap, 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 so that we can get the lights going. Keep on sharing, please. Thank you for those who have shared the live. We really, 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 really appreciate you guys. So, today I am coming with, me and my questions. So I have two questions for you guys today, and just maybe we might have maybe could be one of you guys who will come in a bit later and talk about something. So nonetheless, I wanted to find out, right? When you think about Morning Glory Garcia, when you think about legacy, right? Be it um, primarily your legacy, what comes to mind? What does legacy mean for you? And while you edit, let us know what you are doing to work towards that type of legacy. What does it look like now? Is it taking shape? And what are you looking at? So that is my question for you. Twofold. What is legacy to you? And then secondly, what are you doing to work towards that particular legacy for yourself? Could include your children, could include your family, could include anyone in your life. What does legacy look like for you? And what are you doing to get to that particular legacy? Thank you so much, Lee. All of you who have not done the Heart Me vibe, please do so you can be part of the team. That is that. So I think Kay did say generational wealth. Okay. And then Masejo says beneficial and favorable to my generational wealth. Okay. Who else has a way in? And by the way, you can definitely request to come onto the panel, but do know that when you do so, you need to abide by very, very, very simple rules. Respect other people on the panel, respect everyone's comment. You can nicely disagree with someone's comment or opinion without attacking their personality or them. If you feel you can't do that, you could also choose to just zip it and not comment to something that aggravates you or makes you feel a certain way or that you don't want to engage. Right? So you have that freedom, but however, you are welcome to share your ideas, you're welcome to share your opinion. However, that particular opinion needs to be according to what Leroy is about to tell us now, in terms of our disclaimer. Lee, do you have it ready?
Give me a few minutes quickly, because Leroy is a very busy boy, eh? Very busy
Not a
special.
problem. Dinero, I haven't joined the live in a while. What happened to the segment? So we discontinued that segment, just like we will have many segments coming in the future. We will always shift and change things to keep things interesting, to keep things going, and that is basically what's happening now. So maybe that will keep you coming regularly, so that you can catch what's new every other time. Much appreciated, Leroy. You can go ahead, buddy.
I meant because we got paid. Sorry about that.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the individuals participating in the conversation and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the podcast host or any affiliated organization. Listener discretion is advised.
And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, remember respect is the order of.
Thank you kindly. So feel free to request onto the panel, to join the panel. Let's have a discussion. What does legacy look like to you? And what are you doing currently to work towards that? We would like to hear your opinion. We would like to pick your brain. We would appreciate, and I'm sure a couple of people might learn a thing or two, so that we can definitely grow and do great things in life. Hello, Kay.
Hello,
How are you doing, Mama?
I'm good. How are you?
Top Togozile.
Good
Come
morning.
with it.
Yeah, so for me, legacy is family, basically. And
Okay.
your family name and your family honor. But also, it's generational wealth as well. And I think that's why, like, even last week, I think it was last week Friday, we were having a discussion, and I forgot what we were talking about, but I remember mentioning something about, like, oh, it was the lady who proposed to the guy. I remember
Yeah.
asking something like, why is it that, in our community, it doesn't seem like marriage is prioritized? Because that's like the gateway to generational wealth.
Okay.
Systemically, that is the best or the quickest way statistically to do it, and our people don't do it. That's why I also brought up that whole fat and sit thing, because there's no laws that are protecting assets and things in that type of situation, and the people themselves who get in these situations are not safeguarding themselves, like getting an agreement between each other about like how they're going to cohabitate and the logistics of their asset distribution and things like that. So I think that as a community, we are really lacking there. And it starts with like solid family values, as well as, within family structure, you'll learn about financial literacy and things like that to help further build your generational wealth, because it actually takes 3 generations to get to old money. So the next generation needs to keep the baton going and going and going. So for me right now, what I'm thinking that I'm doing is, like yesterday I said, because of yesterday's topic, I was interested in the whole fertility, taking the fertility route, because I'm not ready to have a kid anytime soon. And that lady's story really like opened my eyes to the fact that I need to put more urgency into looking into my options there. And then, yeah, I just also feel like marriage is very important. So I'm also looking to date for marriage, not for fun. Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Kay. And I have a couple of questions because you nicely opened it up. So 2 questions really. One, I would assume you mentioned family. I don't know if I didn't hear you correctly, but you also said surname. My assumption is that that looks slightly different for males and females. So, from a female perspective, what does it look like for you? The issue of family and surname, both your maiden and where you're probably going to be married in, if that is going to change for that matter. And actually, let's start with that one first.
Okay, so
Okay.
for me, I love my family name because it's so unique. So
Uh-huh.
I've also like already got my degree and my post grad, and I've written my papers. So there's no way that I can drop I can completely drop my maiden name at this point. If someone wanted me to have their name, then they were supposed to marry me before I graduated. So at this point, yeah, I have to keep my name. Sorry. But for the sake of my kids,
Okay.
they can have the father's surname.
Uh-huh.
If the father is involved,
Okay.
then yes. If the father is involved, they can have his name. Um,
Uh-huh.
but I don't even think I can do double barrel because my name is so long, and then my surname is also long. So if I do double barrel, his surname has to be like 3 letters long or something because it's not gonna
Yeah.
work. So for me, I just think that
Okay.
my kids will have his surname, and then I'll just keep my name because I've already,
Okay.
like, unfortunately nobody married me before I graduated, so that's on them.
Okay. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Second one is you spoke about the infertility, right?
Hmm.
And kids.
Yeah.
Currently, as it stands, and we've had the stats in the past few months about decreasing birth rates in different countries. I'm not sure how it looks like in South Africa in particular, but in our generation, and I can speak to perhaps aspiring middle class and middle class, not people in the ages of 30, for example, do not have kids, do not necessarily plan to be having kids in the next 5, 10 years, possibly. We don't know. So, when we now speak about generational wealth, yet the birth rate is decreasing, or we are having kids a whole lot later on in life, how do we balance that? And what does that look like specifically for you?
Well, to be fair, I personally feel like the world's population needs to be regulated. People had too many kids in the past, so I think that the stats where the birth rates are dropping is kind of positive in a way. But in South Africa, they have also started to decrease, which is shocking because I feel like every other day we're hearing a story about, like, especially teenage girls falling pregnant, you know. So I thought like ours was increasing, but the rest of Africa is increasing. It's just South Africa is decreasing. So that's also interesting. But
Just repeat that point again, please.
the like South Africa's birth rates are dropping, but the rest of Africa's birth rates are projected to increase. But
Okay.
it's okay if our birth rates are dropping because it's not like we're Europe. Like Europe and like other countries, they have aging populations. Like we have Africa has a very young population. I think the average person in South Africa is like 27 or 25. So we have a very young population. I don't think our decrease is something to really be worried about. But I don't know. I think that just yesterday before I got on the live, I saw a video of a lady saying like, women in your late 20s and early 30s, what are you doing about like having a kid because people are pressuring you, but you want to have a kid in marriage? You know, it's become so normalized to not have a kid inside marriage and not plan. You know, I think family planning is also important for generational wealth because you need to plan your kids. There's the financial incentive to having a kid there. And so I think people not planning, it causes chaos with their finances and building your life. Because even my mom was saying in her generation, she feels like they also messed up because they just did things like they just had kids and they just got married and they didn't have a plan. They just lucky it worked out, but what if it didn't, you know? So I think
Yeah.
it doesn't move with that energy of like, oh, you know, we'll see what happens because people do have that energy of like a child will just bring me luck. So yeah, I don't know. I think that I don't know how to answer your question, but I also have thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Not a problem. Not a problem. Fully understood.
But I do
Yeah. I
think that
think.
the women in my like age group, like if you late 20s and 30s and don't have kids and you want to have kids while you're married, I do urge you guys to like look into your options because we are the generation that's gonna have kids later then and that's just something that has to be normalized at this point. I've seen women in the workplace also have kids very later without doing fertility. So, you know, anything is possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Much appreciated, Kay. Hello, Tirello. Thank you for joining us again. Miss M, good day, good day. Questions of the day. What is or what does legacy rather? What does legacy mean for you? And what are you doing currently to drive towards that future? So it's a twofold question. What does legacy look like for you? What does it mean for you? And from there, how are you walking towards that? So yeah. Okay, I don't know if you saw a question from someone asking Kuti, how have you thought about how you're going to the logistics of having different surnames to your kids?
I haven't actually thought about that. But I mean, people have different surnames. There are siblings that have different surnames because they have different dads. I don't know. I don't know how I would make it work. I haven't thought about it, to be honest.
Okay. And without not dragging this any longer, for you, what then is the significance of a surname that you want to keep your maiden one, but you say for the sake of your kids, you would like them to have your husband's one? What is the value you place on a surname?
Well, it's a bit complicated because it's a very existential question. I feel
Okay.
like for me, I know my family longer than I've known this person that I'm about to marry. So to throw that all away
Okay.
is like weird. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if I have kids and then I have a different surname to them, my surname and their surname will be different, but I'm still their parent at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I don't see it as like making a difference that much because like they're still my child. I'll have their birth certificate. I think they've even changed birth certificates now where you have to have like both parents' details there. So it's not really going to change much. My surname is still
Yeah.
going to be attached to my family name, but I really stand 10 toes down on my family name. So I'm sorry. To
Okay.
me,
Fully
like I'm not
understand.
changing. And like I said, I also already achieved certain things with my name already. So yeah.
Uh-huh.
And where my dad is from, my surname also like holds a lot of weight there
Okay.
as well. So
All
I
right.
guess the only way now I can change my name is maybe if someone has a surname that holds a lot of weight socially.
Ah, okay. All right.
Yes,
No, I get
that's
you.
because you
But
see, like with
uh-huh.
celebrities, like female celebrities as well, when they get married, like their stage name still stays, you know.
Uh,
But in the behind closed doors, they'll be like Kim Kardashian West, Beyonce Carter Knowles, you know, behind closed, but we don't know them as like Beyonce Carter. Like I know you as Beyonce Knowles, you know. So yeah,
okay.
if the guy I marry has a very prominent name, I could take it, and it had like social benefits, like then I will. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting though. I don't know if you've seen I forgot his name, but there's an interview with one of the I don't know if it's a children or a child or a grandchild of Mandela, and he's a dude. He's speaking about how the surname Mandela for him has brought difficulty rather than what people would think has a social weight. Have you seen that before?
No, I haven't seen that. I've never even heard of that before.
Check it out. Check it out. Aha, there it is. Teke has written the name there. So just
Okay.
check it out, and yeah, quite
That's
interesting.
weird
I was
because
shocked.
it's
Sorry?
shocking. That's shocking because those Mandela grandkids, like those that I know of, like they were always milking the name. So I don't know
Yeah.
about
So
that.
I guess maybe people are having different experiences, I guess.
Yeah, maybe
But
they're
yeah.
still shy.
Yeah. Okay, not a problem. Let me not take it too much. I still have a couple of questions for you, but we'll come back. Brooke, Logan.
Hi guys.
Hello, hi. How are you?
No, we're good. We're good. We're good. Thank you. How's
Okay, Rich.
everybody?
Where
Yeah,
is
no,
Rich?
that guy's around, man. He's around. The whole family's around. All of them are around.
Oh man, killing me. Yes, continue, please.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I think I like what everybody or what Kay has actually been saying regarding legacy. So I just think as well, or my take on it is that over and above the generational wealth, what would be perceived as well as more of as like the physical, the material side of it, basically what you're leaving physically behind for your children. I think if you can also pick up that the name as well, the weight that it comes like that it holds, it also depends as well on the type of so for me it will be the values basically that I think it's also legacy comes with that as well, because if for a certain if for example a certain family or a certain person is known for certain characteristics, being a leader, being patient and kind and generous and thoughtful in their community or socially, that also holds a certain weight. It's not just about they're able to open doors because they had money. Their name says that they have money. But it may be a simple thing as a person that is very resourceful, a person that gets along very well with people. And they're able to teach their children such skills. It's so weird that the other day, just very recently, I was battling personally with the person that I am, and what I've acquired. And I had two women in my head. I thought of my mother, who I remember her as being very nice, generous, warm, sweet, smart, thoughtful, and sensitive. And that told me that that means then in the socially I am still acceptable. You know, when you go battling with who am I and what have I achieved, am I failing
Yeah.
in life? And when you remember that even elders in my family or around my mother always wanted to be around her. They trusted her with money that they didn't even trust their own children with. And I'm like, these are the things that
Yeah.
I still need to remember about my mother. And that's a legacy that she left me with. And I'm like, okay, my grandmother, wow, this woman had money that I did not even know where it was, where she got it from, but her skills when it comes to handling money, her being able to, I'll make simple examples that, Kaya, like when you, or go high, when there's a funeral, then people have to donate, or there's money that has to come out for simple things like buying tea, entertaining the mourners or whoever that comes through. But I'm like, my grandmother, we could pick up, I don't know, every drawer that we opened, or katlasa bethe, everywhere where you could stash, there was money. So I'm like,
Yeah.
can I just leave? And to me, that said living in abundance. It said money was no issue, according to my grandmother. And if I can remember the things that she did to make her have money, the life, how she led her life, then that way, that's a legacy that I'm tapping onto, the values that I'm tapping onto, to kind of remind myself who I am and lead my life in a certain way. So yeah, I think as well we shouldn't really focus.
Oh, Brooke, you are mute. I don't know what happened.
Oh, in my back.
Oh,
I got a call in my back.
yes, you're back. You're back. Yes, come through.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm saying that it's a good thing because certain characteristics and values will help us to acquire certain physical and monetary whatever valued assets.
Yeah.
However, let's also put emphasis on the character of a certain family, a character of these people that we look up to. And it's nice when it's coming from your family, when you feel it's in my blood. It's my right to be kind. It's my right to be resourceful. My mother did it. It's amazing. You walk with pride, when you walk in the street, when you get into an interview, when you're pitching that business idea, you're like, but if they could do it, and with nothing, I'm able to do that. It's in me, So yeah, that's basically that, my understanding on it.
Wonderful, wonderful. All
Well
right,
put.
there you got a clap from Leroy even. You are winning already. Your day is winning. Second question, what are you then doing to steer yourself in that direction of that future?
Okay. Yeah, so it's so weird that every time one does something, when you always have to think and ask yourself the why. Why am I doing this? What does it mean to me? And the ultimate, like the overall whatever picture of why is this action so important to me?
Yeah.
I found myself recently going through that. I think, yo, guys, sorry, this is just something magical about turning 40. So I'm road to 40 at the end of the year. I'm turning 40. So it's so amazing that I don't just do things haphazardly. Most of the things that I do, it's the why. And like literally, and I select as well people that I give certain information about my life. My siblings, get to have access, like front row VIP access to most of the things that I do, most of my decisions, things that I aspire for. The reason why I do that is because if they don't have, like, they can't be looking at TV on I mean at like look I mean aspiring to be like celebrities or people on social media for them to know the right way to follow. And I don't have to sit down with them and say this is right, this is wrong. They have to see with my life. So that's how I'm doing it, by also sharing my life story with my siblings. And it's so nice when you get feedback from somebody says, I was struggling with 1, 2, 3, and I didn't want to go back to school, but I remembered how you enjoyed school. I see how you're managing your weight, simple things like that. And that I remember that I don't have to have socialites telling me what to do because it's right here. So I share that with my, and yeah, and okay, let me make a last example. Sorry, guys, I talk
Yes.
too much.
Okay. Cool.
My son the other day, he's 14, was like, Ish, mommy, at times I can't actually wait to buy you a fine bottle of wine. I'm like, okay, why, why is that? And I'm
Yeah.
like, that means that how I handle myself while having wine then tells my son that it's a luxurious thing. It's not, that doesn't have a negative connotation to drinking. That means that how I carry myself around that, my son experiencing that as well, he sees it as a form of luxury. And who knows, he might actually even understand the value of, collecting wine. So it's such things. So yeah, that's basically how I do it currently. It's, yeah.
All right, wonderful. Much appreciated. Good perspective, and this was what I was hoping to hear. Different perspectives of what legacy means to us. So let's hear. You guys can answer in the comments or get into the panel. The question is pretty simple. What does legacy mean to you? What does it look like? And then what are you doing to go towards that future? All right. So come through, request to get into the panel and whatnot, and let's have this conversation. So Kay, oh, okay, there's someone here. Oh, they disappeared. Anyway, Kay, I did have a question for you. Now, in terms of uh, the surname thing, where you would obviously have your kids take the surname of your husband and you keep your surname. what then becomes, or based on the importance of it, what then becomes the reason for you to keep it if your kids are not going to take it? Because then you're not going to, lack of a better word, multiply the surname itself, if your kids are going to have their husband's surname and you're keeping your own.
Okay, so on my dad's side of the family, there are a lot of
Yes.
boys. I think my dad's grandfather had like 12 sons. So in terms of like keeping up the family name, I don't actually have to worry too much about that. But there is also like a thing in my family where you give your son like the second name is the surname. So it will be like his first name will be whatever, like the first name, and then
Mm-hmm.
the second name will be the surname, and then his last name will be the surname. So that's like a thing in my culture where you make your son his, like one of your sons, not all of them, but like one of your sons. So if I have a son, I will do that. Like his middle name will be my surname.
Ah, okay. Okay.
So that's
All
how
right.
I keep the name in my side of the family.
Interesting.
Sorry guys, that's actually my son's name. His middle name is my surname, and then his father's last name.
You see, we have to
Y'all
keep it in there
sneaky.
somewhere.
And how was the discussion when Brooke, in terms of that with your husband?
No, it was just that the only way that my son is gonna get your last name is if I get to name him generally. And I went and looked for the first name, the meaning, and why I wanted that name. And yeah, that was it. There wasn't like, okay, white guys are very easy guys. Like, yeah, they're
Mm.
very easy. So it was like,
Okay.
it's either that, oh yeah.
Interesting. Okay. That's great. Before we move to Masego, I've come across, heard, have not confirmed myself, but that I believe it's people from the Congo region, if I'm not mistaken. They the children, I think the son, I don't know if it is the first son or all the sons, they take the name of their father as a surname and not necessarily the surname of their father as a surname. Right? So my name being Kagiso, my child's surname will not be my surname. His surname be Kagiso. So that was quite interesting to come across. I have not yet found out why they do it that way. So very, very, very interesting. Guys, please, let's tap. I don't have to mute the comments for us to get to 50K. Spend the next 5 minutes just tapping and let's do this thing. Masero, come to you, Mama. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Very well, very well, very well. Thanks. Come with it.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Okay, so the first question, because I know there are it's a two-part question this time
It's a
around.
two-part question. Yeah.
So the first question, I dated somebody who I'm not kind of sure where he is now. It's here and there, touch and base. See him, don't see him, like from a distance.
Yeah.
And you know, his father and my mother, they passed around the same time. I think about 3 months space in between. But what was
Okay.
so brilliant about his father, which we did not see at that time, as kids, was that he knew generational wealth when
Okay.
collocationing it was not a thing yet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been very blessed that my dad as a profession is a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I was blessed to be able to see my dad grow his practices in multiple places. So I moved a lot like, for me, I can't really say where home is. Home is just kind of where I am at that time when I was growing up. But he had one of the biggest bottle stores, collocationing, and till this day, even with his passing, we all know who he is. And when I got into a relationship with his son got into a place where he was just like, this is not for me. And also, mind you, he's the only boy amongst girls. So you can imagine there is that pressure as well that sits more ngwana musimane when the father dies, and then he has this big business, which is, I'm not going to say it was the only form of income, because the lifestyle that they lived, it showed that the father was a very smart man, and clearly had invested his money into other things. But the main stream of income was the bottle store, because, I mean, it was to the point where trucks that used to drop off alcohol, the SABS, we all knew gore entle ke strata Santa To. So if you're trying to get to whoever's house, like they got double up from the other side. Like, you just, it is what it is. And I was saying to him, you constantly need to be thankful that your dad took you out of a space, because he did get into a space of drugs and whatnot, and life happens. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I had my own fair share of issues.
Sure.
But took him and taught him to run the business firsthand. So that meant waking up every day on time, 5 a.m., opening the business, closing the business, counting the books, counting the bottles, counting the money, having relationships, with stakeholders, having relationship with the external stakeholders, which is the community, all of those things which were part of the generational wealth. And I constantly had to keep reminding him that as much as you do have other things that you want to do, keep in mind that what your dad has created is like Pam Golding. Because technically that's what his dad did. His dad is like his dad was like the bottle store Pam Golding qualification. If everywhere else is closed, it's still open. If it's, still early and you're trying to purchase alcohol, that it's open. And I kept saying to him, you have to consistently keep that mindset open of generational wealth. Especially because you have a younger sibling and it's just you, your older sister, she's in a relationship, whatever, but your mom as well. So generational wealth really needs to be a driving force for you to keep this alive. And when we were in a relationship, I think it was a blessing in disguise, because I was able to assist, even though some people didn't like it, where the business needed a kick, because when his dad passed on, it didn't run the way it used to run.
Yeah.
But you come in as a woman, as women do, we come in and we make the things that need to happen, and it didn't work out. But when I left, my dad started his own, mini emergency room in Alberton and Sasselberg. And I'm in strategic corporate communications, so that is, corporate life. And I realized that it's important to start generational wealth or generational currency. And this is something that's invaluable now. This means that people are even talking about it, even when someday people are not even really sure what it is about it. Because my nephew goes to a private school. They were doing something on Pam Golding. He doesn't even know who Pam Golding is. That is generational.
Okay.
And I had to go to project management.
I'm gonna ask you to lend and answer the second part of the question. Continue.
But I decided then to do advanced project management portfolio so that I
Yeah.
could help grow my dad's businesses in terms of
Sure.
being a surgeon.
Yeah.
And that is to make it grow so that there's more than one that is existing, and that's generational wealth. I don't have to be a doctor to
Yeah.
make it happen. It can be whatever you're doing. If my baby brother is doing IT in our business. If you're doing this, it is this in the business. If it's
Sure.
that in the business. That is generational wealth.
Okay.
So
Wonderful.
that's it.
Part two of the question. Oh, actually, I think you've just answered it now. Sorry. Yes. No, I think that's quite beautiful. Thank you so much, Maseko. And yes,
All
I was
right.
about to, that's what came to mind, what Kay is saying now, that that's what Indian people also do. To say, okay, the father started a laundromat. The son will continue with the laundromat, but he will open a body shop because he's interested into cars. And then it just keeps on going like that. And before you know it, the whole street is owned by the whole family. So definitely. All right.
Right.
This then confirms that who we are influences our children's life's decision. Righty then. Thank you so much, Maseko. You can
Thank
kindly
you.
mute. Sorry?
I was just saying thank you.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. Yes, kindly mute so long. Let me go kwa butingon talela arnaga muskipa he he kwacha kwa tunya. Unmute abuti.
Nah, nigga, you don't like me, but it's fine. You know, and then, like one day is one day, your days coming, dog. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, you were saying what again?
Oipon.
No,
You see
actually,
yourself. You see
mm,
yourself.
what's again? No, no, actually, like, let me show you forensic
What?
busy guy. Actually, look here.
What?
Look.
And
Busy
that is the
guy.
preview of your merchandise, guys.
Yes.
So get ready. Get
It,
ready. The question, Leroy, is what does legacy mean to you? And secondly, what are you doing to drive towards that?
okay, you know what, nah?
Mm.
Me personally, like I've never really given a fuck about like legacy, yeah, like family.
Language.
Oh, sorry about that, sorry about that. So I've never really like cared for that actually, you know, like you must leave a legacy, like they must know who you are and about it like that, you know. So now when you mentioned it now actually, there's a part working more one of DJ PH's mixes, né? Where he played this speech from what's that? Maya or Workman Oprah actually, where they were
Sure.
speaking like about legacy or like you your legacy is the life you, you have what's that you have impacted like through what you are doing, no?
Okay.
That now actually like what's that clicked in my head actually now Hore.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, remember last week na
Mm.
Kilibella or like this thing it I'm kind of like scared actually or dude, we were just having fun and now we are like literally those people in people's lives actually.
Mm.
Now that hit me hard. Actually, that actually brings me joy. So now that's my legacy. Actually, for now, me living like my own, like, like 100% self.
Mm.
Nah, beyond the social standard. You must build a house for your family. You must do this. But then me being me, it's what's that? What's that? it's able to actually help somebody free themselves from like situations and that. Well, I guess we can call that my legacy because now like that brings me joy, and I'm doing like what I love that actually has that like great like vibe to the people. Like, I don't know, but I'm like, actually, wow, that can be my legacy. Look at life, you know. So
All
yeah.
right.
So what am I doing?
Interesting.
Like okay, like for that, I'm just being myself, man. You know, bruh, you know, and then like Monday to Monday, born, you wake up, you get on your phone, you talk shit. Yet there are
Language.
sort of Joe,
I
come on,
hope this language will not be your legacy, my friend.
too late. But anyway, so me being here, né, every day,
Yeah.
yet there are 50 to like 100 people who actually like make sure that they are here to listen to this guy swear jarring, hey ladies stuttering, but then clearly there's something good happening there. So which can be that, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, but man can you guys actually, yeah, like she actually quoted it there. Hey man,
Yes.
oh, like whether you take the good or the bad from me, that's my legacy to you. Get that and take that. I really need to go somewhere. But yeah,
All right. Interesting. Interesting. Good point. I I think I would definitely would not have um, spoken it from that angle, but definitely in the same path, like that. I think it's even just further explaining it more and giving it an example, because I was thinking along those lines of saying, apart from like what Brooke said, apart from the money, apart from the physical things that often are attached to the issue of legacy, uh, you living your purpose in itself will write your own legacy. And that's where Leroy comes in, as he was saying that then you're doing something that you're enjoying, that feels good for you, and it impacts people's lives positively. And oftentimes, money follows such scenarios, or resources, not even just money, resources follow purpose quite hastily. So it is important that we look at the purpose issue, and we then run with that, because then it just spills and overflows. It overflows over your life. It overflows the people who are next to you and all of that, and they get touched by just you living your purpose. And it has been spoken in many aspects to say that for some of us, the freedom of our family lies with us. The deliverance of your family lies with so and so. The whatever of the family lies with so and so. So that speaks to purpose. And if we then live that purpose, it ends up just going in and touching a whole lot of people. So I really appreciate all the points that have been said. I think, Kay, you came back onto the panel. Did you have something to say, Mama? Kay.
I just wanted to also just say, like, I think it was Brooke, she mentioned that values are also things that get passed down, not just like material, tangible things. And I was thinking, like, yeah, that's true because, I feel like in this live group, a lot of people will think I'm like the feminist, like the man-hating feminist, but a lot of people don't realize that it's my father, it's my brothers, it's my uncles who taught me how to be like this, who taught me how to be independent because they were the ones that told me it's valuable to have freedom in terms of like finances and autonomy and things like that. So, those are the values that the males, the patriarchs in my family have given to me. So I think that, like, yeah, she's right because everything I know about feminism, it literally comes from them and what they've taught me about life, and especially like financial things and being goal driven and things like that. So that's why I take pride in being that type of person, because even with me, like, I always question, could I be a housewife? But I've never seen a housewife in my family because even the women have always been so determined and ambitious. So even my mom's friends, they've all been those types of women. So I've just never seen a woman who's just like chilling and, living her best life. I've never seen that. So yeah, I was just thinking like my legacy is also now going to continue to be either the ambitious woman or the housewife. But I don't even know what the housewife looks like.
It's never too late to charter a new course, eh? Never too late.
Do they have a BA in housewifery or something?
Hey, mama, we don't know. We don't know. Maybe when it's just in you, it's in you. You know, you don't need no qualification for it. You just kill it
Yeah,
like that. So.
it's definitely not in me then. I'm gonna be the independent, strong black woman, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's quite great. That's quite great, guys. 50K. Let's tap again. You guys coming very nicely there with the tapping. So please, let's do that. Those of you who have not shared, I'm only seeing 18 shares here, and there's 40 something of us. Can those numbers match? Please share the live. Hardest job ever is being a housewife. I am inclined to believe so. Definitely, it's a job on its own, especially when you're doing it full on, full on, full on. It's definitely the one. So let's tap guys into it. So for me, definitely most of the points that have been mentioned here are come to mind when we speak about legacy. And for me, it includes particularly different areas of my life that I believe, have contributed positively to who I am, and the the abilities that I have, the gifts that I have. It's something I definitely wish to pass down to my kids, because in as much as I believe that what I can give them from a gift perspective, from a skills perspective, from a knowledge perspective, is what can generate the materials. And beyond that, the greater aspect for me is the spiritual element. Investing in that, understanding what that means for me and my lineage, and ensuring that that is an inheritance that gets passed down from generations to generations. Because in my understanding, in my belief, that is the major driver of purpose in life. If you are very clear and you are well tuned to the spiritual elements in your life, you know what your calling is, you know what your giftings are, and you are working at improving and growing these or cultivating these, that for me brings about all the other results that flow in your life. So that has become my obsession, if I could put it that way, to say what can I do, what can I invest in, into my spiritual knowledge, into understanding my purpose better, into understanding my giftings, such that I'm able to then guide my kids, that I'm able to then impart the same to them, for them to have an empowerment that is invisible. Because oftentimes, when you hold to an empowerment that is visible, we've seen a number of people buckling under such situations. But for me, when it's backed up spiritually, it has, particularly because my belief is that my God is quite a generational God. So if I get that right, listen, the name, the money, the resources, the investment, not just in terms of money, but the investment in people. I don't know how many times I have benefited from the investments that my mother has made in the relationships that she has with people around her life. And that for me is yet another example of that legacy. You know, when my kids are benefiting from the investment I've planted in Leroy, the investment I've planted in my friends, the investment I've planted in strangers who can be like, you know what, your father is so and so, man, that guy did 1, 2, 3 for me, and for that reason alone, I will do good for you. That for me is, the one of the biggest ones, bigger than money, so to put it. So that's that. And Mimi, come for you. Let me not go too far.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, people. Can you guys hear me?
Can't hear you, Mimi. You're too low.
Oh my god. Can you guys hear me now?
Still low.
What is wrong with my phone? Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be loud. But guys, lona na le legacy tse pila. Na legacy ya ka ya ho ba Sgaqa Queen. Oh my poor daughter. How I feel for my daughter. But I'm kidding,
We
guys.
have a Tyler Perry of the world who
Wow.
can.
What a way to sugarcoat that. Wow. But actually,
Not sugarcoating. It's this can be it.
I guess,
I can't hear you now, Mimi. Come back.
I'm here. What I wanted to talk about actually was some legacies that were that we were not given a choice if ever we want to dabble in them or even accept them or whatever. And I'm talking more of like you said, spiritual legacies, things that are passed down, because I've in my journey of spirituality, I've come to find out hore there is a great grandmother from way back then who actually was a healer, and she didn't have the left eye as well. And my grandmother only told me this information like recently. Hore, when una le koko who was a healer as well, but yeah, now she specialized Gabana, but she didn't have an eye as well. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah. So some things that happen to you, you need to understand, hore, it's a carry on of what was left for you by Batuba Waholo. You understand? So even with her, with my grandmother, she sort of ducked and dived when it came to her accepting this gift. So it was passed on to me, and then I was also told that if I don't do it, it's also going to be passed down to my daughter. And the funny thing is, all of the firstborns in each generation ke banyana. My grandmother is also a firstborn, go Gogo. My mom is also a firstborn, go my grandmother. I'm a firstborn. My daughter is a firstborn. So you see how it all aligns with with everything, because a spiritual legacy is far more heavy, and it's far more hectic if the kids are not taught and made to understand the possibility of having to inherit something like that. So I've made it my personal mission to educate my daughter on certain things so she can understand, because the probability of her being like her mother is very high. The probability of her also being able to do and channel the things that I do is very high. So I think the best thing we can do for our children is to educate them on things that we know, on certain legacies that we know that chances of them inheriting them indirectly or directly are very high. That's all I wanted to say.
Right. Thank you so much. There's Mimi sharing a bit of light on the spiritual legacies, and in what you're speaking, something came to me that we also ought to be very careful with the unintentional legacies that we leave behind. Um, it could be things that are negative, that you you know it can be argued to say that it might not have started with you, could have started way back then. But let's take an example of a family of, let's say, alcoholics, for example, where it in the past there may not have been such in the 2 or 3 generations, and maybe somewhere there in the 4th generation there might have been that situation, but now you are restarting the same thing. Or it could be coming from a trauma that you have had, and you not dealing with that trauma and healing from that trauma then starts a whole generational inheritance, of could be insecure kids. It could be kids who are raised from the perspective of hurt, from perspective of uh, revenge and things like that, and those give birth to consequences and legacies that are not positive. Yeah. And poverty is also a trauma. Is it a trauma, or it creates a trauma? Which one is it? Is it chicken or is it the egg? So that is another thing that we really need to be careful on. And Ndlovukazi is saying true, we must be careful of creating or perpetuating generational curses. Yeah. So there is these elements that we need to look at. And it's sad that they continue to happen, and some of them manifest themselves or some of them are empowered by negative spirits. Yeah. And something traumatic happens in your life. It is possibly you the first one it happens to in the family, and as a result of that, now it carries on to your children and their children, and before you know it, we have a list of women who have gone through the same thing in the family. We have a list of men who have gone through the same thing in the family. But it all started with one person, so we really need to be quite careful around those type of things. Pumpkin, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Ke sharp one, le phutsi, all right?
Good, thanks. I'm good, thanks.
Yes.
You know, I was not gonna
Continue.
say anything until you guys mentioned spirits and whatever. So, you know, one thing that my grandmother passed down to us, which she also got from her grandmother, was to have strong family values. We show up for each other no matter what. Ne? But then my grandmother took it too far with my mom as well. Both of
Okay.
them, they take family values as inviting anyone and everyone who doesn't have a home to come and live with us. You know, guys, I grew up with a lot of people that I do not know now. ukuthi bakuphi empilweni. They used to sleep in the same bed as us. They used to, you know, dress in our clothes and all of that. And my grandmother did that so much that, you know, when my grandma passed away, guys, ne, I saw people for the first time I've never seen ever in my life, like ever, ever, ever. Men who say, your grandmother raised me. Your grandmother used to do this for me. Your grandmother, you know, was hlanganisa umndeni. Ugogo wakho wangiphahlela. Ugogo wakho did this. And I was like, huh? My grandmother? And they said yes. And then when I look at my mom would say, yes, kule nabo labantu laba. You used to sleep with them in the same bed. And then my mom did the same thing to us, where she would take people, esingabazi ukuthi babuyaphi, they would spend even years with us. Namanje asibazi ukuthi bakubo. Yes, they would come back and say, sanibonani siyandlula, you know, balethi imali coke there and there and stuff. But I think that thing needs to end with us. We cannot keep doing that because I'm a caregiver as well, as you guys know. I am, but caregiving doesn't mean I have to take everything and everyone, because other people really do use you because they can see that you have a good heart and stuff. So and we were talking about this other girl now. She came also to visit Mother's Day, to say happy Mother's Day to my mom, the day after we buried my sister and stuff. And then she was there. That girl, we grew up with her. Umama ke banomama bahlangana edrobheni, and then she was pregnant at that time. She was crying by a corner of a Shoprite, and my mom was like, no, come uzohlala nathi. And she left her there and ran. Lo mama wanyamalala for a whole year. She didn't come see her daughter. We raised her daughter. She used to, you know, like sharing mpahla and food and everything. And when I was growing up, I said to myself, yes, I will still have strong family values. Yes, our families sometimes annoy us and we want to, you know, strangle them. But, you know, they're still family at the end of the day. But then that ends with us. I'm not gonna take anyone and, you know, and clothe them, especially people that just come out of nowhere and say we need this and that, we want to stay here. We can't do that. That has to stop somewhere, because also kunabantwana endlini, you know, who need to grow up having, you know, the things that they need to have because we can afford them. Not to, you know, affordability doesn't even extend to other people outside. Yes, Mimi, yes, kiss.
Pumpkin, continue, please. Maybe we'll come after you're finished.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
So yes, okay. So having this, you know, strong family values, showing up for each other, that's one thing that I'll take, you know, with me until my last breath, and I'll teach it to my nieces and nephews. They know we share everything, we do everything with each other. In terms of finances, nomunye nomunye izimali zakhe. Ngisho mina zami imali ngihamba nazo emhlabeni, because I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You know, I'm teaching them about financial freedom and all of that, so that they'll also take it with them, and you know how to budget, how to make, okay, not how to, I'm mumbling, guys, for them to understand, Uti, this is how money comes in and this is how money goes out. You don't need to spend in each and every cent, and you need to earn it, because they don't do things in linear and expect us to buy them on a PlayStation and whatever. They have to do something to get that money also. That's what we are teaching them. Uti, nothing is for free. Yes, it's into sometimes we struggle a little bit, but we'll always show up for you no matter what. I think that's one thing that I'm going to take with me, and I'm also teaching them.
Okay. Before you go, the people you spoke about, are they still alive?
My mom is.
Okay.
My grandma passed away in 2017. Yeah.
All right. Did you get an opportunity with your grandmother and perhaps with their mother to understand their perspective and what guided them in this? Because the worst could have happened. Just from your speaking and some of the things, the horrors that we have thought while you are speaking of bringing strangers into the house and whatnot. The fact that there is no catastrophe, I hope, that happened as a result of accommodating these strangers and all of that. Have you then perhaps considered asking before you say it ends with you, to understand what is it? Perhaps they had a discernment that was very keen. They were led into assisting these people and all of that, and that's what then ensured that catastrophe doesn't happen or the worst things don't happen in a sense. And I think that gives you also a peace of mind when you know that this could be a guidance that I'm receiving spiritually or whatever the case may be. So I know that in doing this, I'm still secured and everything will go well.
So my grandma used to say, Uguti, she believes that when you give, you receive more. I think she's
Okay.
always had that, and we honestly we've never lacked. I will not come in this platform and lie and say, hey, bekshota ukudla, bekshota in and like we managed so much. They managed with all the kids that used to live with us. Ukuthi support the song and take us to school and give us all what they can give us at that time. I think it's this thing Ukuthi when people need help, just help them out. No judgment, nothing. Don't ask so many questions because other people do not have. When you have, so why not extend it to other people? So my grandmother had that, and my mom still has that, guys. My mom like unayo lento lokuthi hayi musi ikhona impuphu wayesingayishare nomama kabani bani, and I'm like, but imonth ayiphelanga is 10 namhlanje, like why are you talking about impuphu that needs to be shared with someone? They believe ukuthi when you give you get more, you receive more, and honestly we've never lacked. I don't see. I think it was that, and also ugogo wami was I think the 17th umntwana 17 wakamkhulu wami, because her father had 3 wives and they were 17 yena, and then there was like they were 23 in total, so they had a big family also. It's just like it was okay for them to kulala ekishini, kulala dining room, nibe baningi endlini, and then help each other out, show up for each other. So everything was just simple for them at that time. So I think it's also that.
Okay. Much appreciated. Mimi, I think you wanted to ask a question, then we go to Dean.
No. It wasn't a question. It was just something that I wanted to say because I feel like she's feeling a bit bad that she cannot carry on the legacy that her mom and her grandmother, have started. And I want to say this. I'm going to speak from a spiritual side. And again, this is how I know it. Isipiwo sometimes there's a place last pelela corner in order for a new legacy to commence and be taken forward. Do you understand? So you can think Uguti, maybe you're a bad person because you do not want to carry on the legacy that your grandmother and your mother have held on all these years. But forgetting Uguti, you have a legacy yourself that you can start and that you can teach your kids or any other kid moving forward. Do you understand? You shouldn't feel bad if ever you want to do things differently from the people that were before you. Do you
Thank you,
understand?
Mimi.
So,
Yes, now I
it's pure.
understand.
A gift
You're making me feel so much better.
exactly. A legacy has where it ends. Some have where it ends. With us or with me, unfortunately, I'm still gonna take it forward because I'm still doing what they did before me. Do you understand? I talk to anybody. I don't have any boundaries when it comes to helping people. I'm also that type that would pick up somebody from the streets and be like, do you want to live with me? Do you understand? That's one thing that they also did. They would take in wonke umuntu from the village who wanted to come to Johannesburg to go to university. No, Mamsina has a flat in Joburg. Your child would stay there. We've had all of those. Do you understand? And I understood, and it's something that we still do today. The flat is still there. There are other kids who are growing up who are going to university who are going to come live there. But do not feel bad when you want to do things differently. It's a legacy that has to start as well. Because what if your generation is the new start of a new legacy? Do it how you want to do it. Do it how you feel is right, because that's your intuition in most cases and your gut telling you, Uguti, change is needed. I don't know if my daughter's going to start a new legacy after this. Do you understand? So own what you're feeling, own what you're thinking. You're not a bad person. You're not kicking anybody out. You're not being rude to anybody, but you're starting your own thing. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
There we go. Righty then. Abutitini.
Putumdalo uyaphila.
Me, I'm top togozile Buddha Yamuena.
Oh man, I can't complain. I just woke up and my grandmother has a lovely garden of roses. And I'm looking at them. I'm like, oh, what would the world be without such beautiful people? And automatically, I'm thinking about my sisters here. I'm like, we are blessed and we are lucky as men that God has blessed us with such beautiful souls.
Indeed.
But asikho lapho bengithanda ukuthi nje bantwana bamangoni ngiyanibingelela. You know, I'm listening to Mrs. Pumpkin and I think every black family can relate to a grandmother like that. And I think it was more of a mindset yabantu bakudala, like our very old generation, that we were all one community of people. That's why it was very easy for them to just take in people, because bayazi ukuthi sidabantu because of abantu, umuntu ngabantu, you know. And within the legacies itself that derives from different backgrounds and different families, one that I've really adopted from my father and his father is that generally you grow up to be a family orientated person at a very young age. Four of my siblings are married, with two of them being second wives, one being a first wife, and one having two wives already. So esteem was one of the things that has been passed on in my family greatly. And the behaviors of how then you take over such legacies and knowing them for what they truly are and what they truly mean within the surname itself. Yeah. And as Mimi said, there's going to be times where you cut off yourself from a legacy just because you are destined to build something that is just you and something that starts with you. As much as Ekaya is, a lot of people are polygamist, I find no reference in such behavior, just because I fear for my life, you know. I'm just,
Yeah.
you know, it's beautiful when you see the benefits of it, but you then partaking into the dish itself, sometimes it might be bitter for your taste, or it might be too sweet for your liking, and then that's where you start your own thing, which is then passed on down from your stem of the side and to a certain plant up until it becomes a tree. So the legacies are one thing that we should derive information and knowledge from, but always adding a twist of element that identifies you within that legacy. Because it's great to continue what the family has started, but it's even greater to put a spin that identifies you as the person. So then we can tell, good, oh, in the days, Tsamimi, this is how the legacy of the family was. But in the days, Kokwake, it was way different. Almost the same behaviors and everything, but the intentions were even more different. So, as a man that believes very much in legacies, because if you believe in your surname more, you believe much more in what it comes with, because that's a legacy on its own. You continue the legacies of your grandfathers and your forefathers. and you create it to the point where we can then identify with, no man, this was the area KG, and KG ruled like this, and this was his time, and this is how he actually ordered things to be done. Again, as I feel very strongly, just like how Pumpkin feels, most legacies Tasekaya, they are beautiful in the taste that they can explain why it was happening. But I have no attachments to them. I truly believe that being my own person and starting my own thing, definitely with the foundation of what I've learned, but starting my own thing as my person for my family and my household and my things and my actually we add always to the legacy that was passed on by our parents, and we either make it greater or we just continue exactly with what they were doing. Up until today, my grandmother's house in Durban, she will cook a full pot meal so that at 12 o'clock, random strangers can pass by and ask for food. And it's known. It's like a canteen at home around 12 to 1 with random people. I mean, like your neighbors and families that need that kind of assistance. So the older generation, they have a certain descending spirit that they could descend the needs of the community and the needs of the people that surrounded them. And you'd laugh, and you do end up sharing bed with strangers, but if you look at it in the long run, as years goes by, those strangers become sisters and they become brothers, and in the long run they come and assist you in your weakest moments, as a safety hazard of saying that one day you might need assistance. So it's better to have more family friends than enemies in this world. You know?
Indeed. Indeed.
So I think there's a skit that is currently going on where a random guy walks in and is like, no, I want to sleep, this is an RDP house, it's a government house, so give me a pillow so I can sleep. That is the very same spirits our grandmothers used to come up with. Because every house is everyone's home
Yeah.
in a perfect scenario, in a perfect world. So we should learn from our legacies passed down, but we should always change them, not really change, but alter them to benefit us at the very same time.
Wonderful. Much appreciated, Dean. Thank you for this submission. Brooke, did you want to say something? I see you on mute.
Oh yeah. No,
Yes,
man.
please.
I think everything that has just been said, and to what Dana just, emphasized on more now, the picture just looks so perfect. It's like a beautiful African picture, where people understood who they are and what role they played in society and how to play. It is just so lovely, to be honest. And it's such things that right now, when we look at things like right now, OK was mentioning safety around, helping strangers and stuff. But people were not even focused on that so much. Okay, this may sound like one is living in a fairy tale, but unfortunately, what you give attention to most of the time is what actually happens more than the reality or so-called reality, because people were so focused on the positive side of life, of helping each other, the ubuntu side. That is more of what they got. Yes. Simple things like people that go to this lady or Meona in your community is known to be taking strangers or children that are in need, or orphans into their homes. Even when you're in a police station, for example, a policewoman or man will be like, oh, okay, oh, so this child was just dropped here. No, man, I know me, mama, and they will take the child there. Weird enough, sometimes even when there's a person that says, I need to give something, contribute, give money, give what, they'll always remember as well to say, but honale mia aso, so, so it's, yeah, anyway, so yeah, it's, I think, if there's one legacy as Africans that we can always look and tap onto, is the spirit of Ubuntu. It's that's thing of ekasi, you would just walk kokasi, guys. Yo, nah, okay, I'm a thing with darkness. I don't know why. Oh, my eyesight. So I have an eyesight challenge at clear and light. So I would find
Okay.
myself being in the streets more at night than during the day. But I never felt unsafe where I grew up because I knew I could just shout out and say, say a name and somebody would remember. No, but we can recognize that voice. So it's such things that I miss that about Africa. I miss that about us. And yeah, so yeah, anyway, it was nice to
That's
talk about
wonderful.
that.
Thank you so much for that submission. Definitely, guys. The legacy of Ubuntu. We need to perhaps look into it. We, you know, these values have deteriorated. The more we pursue certain, and I think also that's the thing. There's no. We should always aspire to improve as a nation, advanced, be more urbanized or whatever the case may be, but without losing the core values. And you look at how this whole thing of complexes or high walls in the suburbs, not wanting to even know who your neighbor is, not wanting to even meet. The question is, where is that anxiety coming from? Whatever little bit of anxiety you feel about knowing your neighbor or meeting your neighbor, where is it coming from? Why is it there? Why does it exist? That so much that you don't want to engage with your neighbor, you don't want to know 10 people in your neighborhood and things like that. So we are now just individuals. It's me and my own, and then that's just about it. It's quite sad to say the least. But yeah, let's endeavor to create better legacies that we can be proud of. Mimi.
Mangibamba ngokudla in my mouth. Another legacy I have is eating. So, no, but I just wanted to close off with with what I said in the comments that we have lost ubuntu bethu because we are now beginning to fear everything and everyone around us. We've lost our trust in everyone and everything around us, right? And there's a song that I love by a guy called Ngobi Yazo, and that
Okay.
song is called Tongalam. There's a part in the song where he says, it's like sort of a prayer. He's like, to God, yehlisa ithongo lakho lokuthandana. Bring back your angel of love. Bring back your angel of togetherness. And I think if we were to strive to get back to communities where everyone felt safe around the next person, we would have a better, society. We wouldn't have women wanting to choose a bear over a man. We wouldn't want men saying that they are broken because of certain people and whatnot and whatnot. If ever we were to teach each other that we are each other's backbones and we are each other's, shoulders or whatever, it doesn't mean when someone is a shoulder, you need to end up in their bed. That's another thing. We need to learn how to appreciate and love one another and take care of one another. That's the reason why maybe I was chosen to be, whatever I am right now, because in my healing, there's no boundaries. Anybody can be healed. Anybody can be taken care of. Everybody deserves to be loved. Everybody, I'm telling you, when I say everybody, I mean everybody deserves to be loved. So if we create, if we create a society where we don't fight with each other, but rather we try to find common ground in all the different opinions, in all the different ideas that we have, because we are always evolving as human beings. If we try to find a common ground instead of trying to make sure that the next person understands that they are horrible, then we are working towards something better. Those are legacies that we should be living for our children. We shouldn't be leaving legacies where men are misogynistic, women are considered feminists because they have a different opinion, or this or that or that. We all need to understand that whatever we are doing now, the next generation is going to adapt from that. Could be, wrong, or it could work in their favor. But that's all going to depend on how we do it. Because even if we are to disagree, we shouldn't lose the humanity of respecting and loving each other within that disagreement. Do you understand? So we've lost Ubuntu bethu, and I really, really wish people could come together and understand Uguti. This is a picture that now we are trying to go back to, where I know Uguti, if umntana mosestratini uyadlala, there is no car or man that will come up and snatch my child because umama se next door ubhekile, or if my child goes and plays next door, chances of her eating something that might kill her are very low. I need to have that trust because it takes a village to raise our children, guys. A lot of us single mothers are struggling because we are doing this on our own. We don't have those villages anymore. Everybody's now caught up in whatever. If you go to the internet and say, I'm struggling as a single mother with this, you get men who say, but you chose this life. Single mothers raise unstable children. Single mothers do this and that and that. And then you go back into your own shell and you're like, okay, you know what? Society doesn't really understand me. Let me do things on my own. Then mausulega, you decide to end it all. You leave your children, you leave whatever behind. Then that's that. Every conversation we have turns into a gender war. I just want that to be eradicated completely.
Sure. And with that, I'm gonna give Pumpkin to close off. And Brooke, if you wanna come through, you'll have also a few 30 seconds, Nyana, to sum it up. And we can bring the live to a close. Come through, Pumpkin.
Hi, KG, I'm done. Like uyivalile.
All right.
Uyivalile. Like there's nothing more I can say.
Okay, that is good. Thank you kindly. Brooke, want to say something?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, fella, or it doesn't matter whether you do it privately, you do it publicly, but whatever that you put into the world will somehow come back, and it will either go to your children, affect your children negatively, positively, but somebody will get impacted by it. So let's just really rethink. I mean, there's no rush. There's really no rush in anything that we do. There's no need to, to be rushing into making any decisions, rushing into doing anything, because honestly, somehow our world actually gets impacted by the decisions and the actions that we just decide on. And yeah, let's let a planting lerato, guys. Even when you think of smiling, when you smile, like I'm smiling now already, I'm thinking there's somebody already smiling somewhere, somehow listening to my voice as well, because that's just how it is. Yeah, so let's just intentionally just say, if I'm gonna fail to love myself today, can I just love somebody? And that's it, an act of kindness in each and every single day. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Kay?
Yeah, I just thought I wanted to say this was a very insightful conversation, and different, seeing like what legacy means to different people, whether it's like socially, if it's for social advancement, or like spiritual or whatever. Everybody has their own idea of how they want to get to whatever legacy they want to leave behind. And I also agree with Brooke in the sense of like, not rushing into things. We talk a lot about how like in relationships, you should do what you want to do in your relationship with your partner and not what is like
Mm.
socially acceptable, because that might not make you guys happy. And I think, yeah, like these are the kinds of conversations that will like expand our minds and open our minds to try and do things differently. Because I feel like, especially, I don't know how old everyone is in this group, but I am going to assume most of us are millennials here. So one interesting thing about millennials is that like we're the generation that's been like disrupting the norm of society. But at the same time, many millennials haven't even realized that that's what's happening. They haven't realized that like we're that generation that steered the change, because many people were still trying to model the ways in which people were living in the past, our parents and things like that. So
Yes.
even if you Gen Z is also supposed to also now continue this disruption, because you guys also want to live traditionally, but it's like that's not going to work now. There's been a shift in the society and people are very stubborn. They don't want to move with the shift. So if we keep having conversations like this, it will help to open our minds, to change our stream of consciousness, and to understand that we're not in the era of our parents. We're in a completely different plane. Since I would say that change seemed to have happened around like 2017. So everybody needs to catch up to that. And once we catch up, we can figure out how we want to structure this new way of life in a way that's beneficial for like the whole of society. So that's all I have to say.
Righty then. Thank you so much. And I think one of the days then we still have to have the conversation of the society element, because whether we like it or not, we can't it's a reality we live in. We are not alone, we live with people, and as a result we form part of a society. And I don't believe there should be a contradiction, because we are in control of how we turn the society to what we want it to be. And that's a whole work in itself, but it needs to be done as a collective. And definitely it happens with us having these type of conversations, because it's very clear from this conversation that we are aligned. We are pulling from different perspective, but we have a good understanding of what legacy means, for us individually, for us as a people, and therefore, how does that translate into precepts that as a society then we can follow for this particular realization of the type of legacies that we want. So I will stop it there for today. And as you know, we have our new edition, which is a game that we play. We happen to already have the champion for the week. So whoever wants to take her on, anyone can come through from the comments, or anyone on the panel who would like to wrestle with Kay. We have basically 10 questions. Whoever answers the most wins, and you are going towards winning up until Friday, and there will be a gift. Kindly mute there, Kay.
I
Then
can't do the quiz today, KG.
repeat, please.
I can't do the quiz today.
Okay, so Kay is abandoning the quiz for the day. Unfortunately, then you are scrapping your past wins.
No, but I
Um,
have stuff to do. I can't be driving and then answering questions. I'm not a passenger princess, I'm the driver.
but you know, we have a game at the end of the show. You know this. So, unfortunately, if you can't be playing, let's see. But let's see. Maybe headquarters, we will discuss it and see if they're willing to change to something else. But nonetheless, if you're not able to play, it's all right. You can kindly mute on your part. And Pumpkin, what are the questions based on? Random. Very random. But I can give you a theme. Just like yesterday, it's about South Africa. So we are keeping it easy in a way, so that we can get into the hang of it. Well, not the questions that are easy, but in terms of the theme that we're focusing on. We're keeping it here. We're not gonna talk about Baghdad. And there are greater chances that you don't know much about Baghdad, but you might know something about South Africa. So the two of you on the panel, are you keen to play?
I'm laughing.
Why not?
Pumpkin, let's just do this thing then. Let's just do it.
Let's just do this thing, right? Okay. So basically 10 questions. I'm gonna ask you a question. You say your name, and please, if you wanna keep your name private, don't say your real name. Say the one that is appearing. So ke Pumpkin or ke Brook. Right? So you will say your name, and then you will answer. If the first answer is incorrect, the opponent gets the opportunity to answer. We keep score. If you take longer than 3 seconds for you to answer, it moves to the next person, or it's a loss. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And guys, let's not Google. Let's keep it easy, right? Let's win this
Give
thing.
me
Okay.
ideas now.
Repeat? No, guys, it's a game. You have nothing to lose but more to gain, so there's no reason to cheat. So be ready, have your mics already unmuted, and let's do this. All right. So, okay, oh no. Which, are you guys ready? Let me just check if you're ready. You're ready?
Yes, we have.
Okay, cool. Which province has the highest number of languages spoken in South Africa?
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin?
Isn't it Gauteng?
Okay, that is correct. No, actually, it's not correct. Next
Oh,
one,
wow.
Brooke.
Limpopo.
All right, that is correct. Actually,
Oh,
that is
wow.
Limpopo. I need a working pen so that there's no one who's keeping score for me. Is someone keeping score for me on the comments? Okay, you can't answer, please, on the comments there. You can't. Let's do the panel there. All right. So, can you help me with the score if you don't mind? Thank you kindly. So there's Pumpkin, and then there's Brooke. Brooke just got one now. Okay. All right. Second question. Which province is home to the smallest desert in the world? Kalahari Desert.
Okay, Brooke.
Brooke?
Just from that name, I am assuming this one, I'm guessing. Northwest.
Incorrect. Pumpkin?
Who isn't it? Oh my god. I don't know. Is it Port Elizabeth?
Okay. No, that is incorrect. So
There's
no
not
point
even a
to
desert
anyone
there.
there. No point to anyone. I'll give you the answers at the end. Okay, number 3. Which province has the longest coastline in South Africa?
Brooke.
Brooke?
Leona, I'm guessing. Coastline. KZN.
Okay, that is correct. So 1 point to Brooke. Kay, can you please not give answers on the comments? People, what's happening? What's happening? Let's not do that.
Just get one.
Homo.
Okay, and then we have, which province has the lowest population density in South Africa?
Hey, let me guess. Okay, Brooke.
Brooke?
Northwest.
Is it Northern
Incorrect.
Cape?
Correct.
Yay!
So that's the Northern Cape. 1 point to Pumpkin. Let's go to the next one. Which province is home to the famous, my spelling or my pronunciation, Ugrabis Falls, Agrabis Falls, which is over 60 meters high? Which province is home to those particular falls?
I don't know.
Yo, oh God. Is it the Northern Cape?
You didn't say your name, ma'am, so
Oh,
the
sorry.
point is gone.
Move, man. Give her. No, Pumpkin. Let's go.
Oh, sorry.
Give her, man.
So people in the comments, what must I do? Must I give it to Pumpkin? It was Pumpkin who was answering.
Give her.
Okay. Your opponent said we must give you, so we'll give you one. It was indeed correct. It is the Northern Cape. So that is Pumpkin. Point there. And then which province has the highest number of national parks and game reserves in South Africa?
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin?
Is it Limpopo?
Incorrect.
Brooke.
Brooke?
It's actually Gauteng, I think.
Incorrect. Incorrect.
Yeah,
So we're
guys.
moving. We have lost that point. Okay. Which province is home to a historic town of Grahamstown?
Brooke.
Brooke?
Which province, right?
Yes.
Eastern Cape.
All right. Point to Brooke there. Great. And next question. Which province has the longest river in South Africa?
Ish, and I'm a river person. Brooke.
Brooke? Yes?
I'm gonna be so sad if I get this one wrong. It's Free State.
Incorrect. Pumpkin?
Longest river?
Yes.
I'm not sure. Maybe. Okay, Pumpkin. Is it KZN?
Incorrect. It's going down today. Last question. Which province is home to the famous Fredefort crater, which is one of the largest impact craters in the world? I'll say craters for now. Which province is home to the famous Fredefort? Brooke?
Free State.
Correct. Okay. Not too bad, guys. Not too bad for your first time. What's the answer there? Let's get the score, please.
Remember, I have a
Brooke
master's.
won. Brooke, you have won with how many points?
4 points.
With 4 points.
Yay.
You know, like a 40%. 40%. Okay. So thank you very much for you guys playing. I'll give you guys the answers just now. But Brooke, if you want to stand the chance of winning a merchandise, I don't know what merchandise it is. If you were here earlier on, you might have gotten a glimpse of what Leroy is cooking. And so you need to be winning every single day. And we'll see you on Friday in terms of that. So come through tomorrow. If you're not coming through tomorrow, someone else is taking your spot. All right.
Right, that's great stuff. Thank you so much. That was fun.
Thank you. This was fun.
That's the main thing. That is the main thing. And let's give you the answers, right? So the first one was correct, which was Limpopo, which is the province with the highest number of languages spoken, with over 30 languages spoken in that province. 30, guys. Limpopo, what are you guys doing there with so many languages? Anyway, so that's that. And then I believe you guys got the Kalahari Desert incorrect, right? So the Kalahari Desert is the smallest desert in the world. I didn't know that myself. And it's in the Northern Cape. When no batla northwest just because ke kgalagadi go shebile. Go shebile. Okay, so this one was correct. What province has the longest coastline, which is KZN? And which province is home to the highest peak in South Africa? Mafadi Peak. Did I even? I didn't say this one. Oh, sorry.
You
I
didn't
missed
say
it.
that one,
My
no.
apologies. So I did 9. Okay, so for knowledge sake, this is in KwaZulu Natal. Mafadi Peak is the highest peak in South Africa. Interesting. That's weird. I thought it would have been the Drakensberg.
I would also
I
think
know they are the highest mountain range, and by assumption, I thought it would be the highest peak.
peaks, man.
Very interesting. In any case, next one, the whole Agrabis Falls, 60 meters high. It's in the Northern Cape. That was a good guess because I doubt you knew that one, Pumpkin. And what else did we have? The province with the highest number of national parks and game reserves is Mpumalanga, where the
Wow.
Kruger
Okay.
National Park is. Or
Where I'm from, I don't even know that.
Okay. Which province has the longest river in South Africa? Which I didn't want to mention the name of the river because it was going to give it away.
Give me the
It
name
is
of
the
the river.
Orange River. Yes,
I thought Orange
it's the Orange River.
Irana
Repeat.
So that's so weird. I actually thought Irana go Free State.
It possibly does. Maybe, I'm not sure. Or maybe it changes the name, I'm not sure. But in this case, they're saying the province with the longest river in South Africa, the Orange River, which stretches over 2,300 kilometers. So maybe it's in terms of the province that the river itself stretches the longest.
I get you.
Maybe, yeah. So that's the Northern Cape. And Fredderford Crater, I don't even know what this Fredderford Crater is in the Free State. Who gave the answer? What is it?
The dome. Remember there was the time in South Africa where we had something that said a stone or something dropped on the ground, and it sounded like it was those astronaut stuff.
Ah, okay,
That
yes.
thing. Yeah. So it's just
Okay,
after
that's
the
right.
race, Fredderford, so they call it the Fredderford Dome thing.
Interesting. Okay. So ke yona Black Panther ko etswang teng.
Something unusual, wabo. Hey, wabo. Hey, that's hey.
Alrighty.
Astronaut stuff.
Okay, much appreciated, guys. You've been a good sport, and this is how we're going to end the live. And remember, Brooke, if you want to continue being the champion, come through tomorrow. And everyone else, thank you so much for engaging us. Thank you so much for always being cordial, always respecting the rules that we give and participating and educating us, in terms of, legacy, which was the conversation of the day. And I hope some of you have gotten some ideas from some of the things that the people are already doing to ensure that they are living a legacy. It's not just the dream, they are working towards it. So join us again tomorrow. If you join us for the first time today, we are here Monday to Friday, 20 past 10, and we are indeed Makai on Down. You will also catch these live recordings. We post them on YouTube. So look for Makai Rundown, except the podcast, in YouTube, and you will find these lives. And we really appreciate you guys. Continue doing the good work that you're doing in your spaces, positively contributing towards society and building the society that we would like to see. So enjoy the rest of your day. Tomorrow there will be someone else. I don't think I'll be hosting, and I will see you guys on Thursday. Bye bye, guys.